Hello everyone, happy January. It's Kristen here at Joyfully Thriving, and one of the things I'm going to do in this new year is I'm going to share once a month this more casual chatting style vlog along with some of my favorites. I know some of you enjoyed that wrap up at the end of the year, and by the time the year rolled around, it was hard to remember everything. So I thought once a month I just pop in here, we'd chat a little bit more casually, and we'd share what's going on in life as well as some of my favorite things for the month. So let's get started with January, shall we? So many things. We came off of Christmas and had a marvelous time. We actually went down to Texas, which was wonderful. I grew up there primarily in San Antonio. My dad's a pastor, and we know this is going to be his last Christmas at the church where I grew up. He's been there for 38 years, and he is getting ready to semi-retire and go work at one of our seminaries. And so because of that, we wanted to get back for Christmas and take the kids there. So I went down, two of my sisters came down with their kids. The house was very full. We were able to worship at church with my parents, and my mom plays the organ. Nathan sang at church. My nieces played their violins. We had lots of family time. We're able to go down to the Riverwalk, see the Alamo missions, enjoy marvelously, wonderfully warm weather. It was just a great time. And then we actually headed over near Houston to a town called Schulenburg, and we had a wedding for my husband's cousin, actually. So that worked out great. And then we worked our way back. Because of Christmas happening like that, we were back in time for New Year's, but then we left straight from school, and it was just a busy time of year. So when January hit, it hit fast, and we kind of jumped into lots of things. So January has flown by. It has felt very busy. We had three of the four kids get sick for about a week with fevers, which just a lot of lethargy, and it just was a long, lingering illness. I'm glad it's not a lot of other things. We'll take that, but that just kind of wiped us out. We had a basketball tournament, which is our school's largest fundraiser for athletics, and my son was playing in it. It's a JV tournament, so he was playing in it. I was in charge of hospitality. My husband was helping run the tournament. Just a very busy weekend. So lots of things are going on, and I have been working behind the scenes and getting ready for our school auction, which is a really large fundraiser. The JV tournament was for athletics, and then this is our whole school big fundraiser, and I'm kind of in charge of it this year with two other ladies, but I'm doing a lot of the organization and getting things ready and donation-wise, so that's been taking up a lot of my month. It's been a good month. We are getting through. It has been kind of dreary and cold. We have not gotten much snow. Those of you down south have actually gotten more from these winter storms than we have gotten up here in Indiana. So we got a cold day, but no real snow. And the kids are disappointed and looking forward to that, because if it's winter and it's going to be cold, we'd like to have some snow and enjoy it and make the most of it that way. Now, I will say I am still a Texan at heart after growing up down south. So when it snows, my favorite way to enjoy the snow is to stay inside, and we drink hot chocolate and we bake and just make the most of it. So even though we haven't had snow, that's a good way to segue into some of my favorites. One of my favorites this month, and I already shared this in my pantry challenge video, but I have something new. On weekends, the kids like a cup of hot chocolate. On Saturday mornings, that's kind of their treat as we have a slower start and make pancakes. But I don't drink coffee. I don't drink tea. I've tried. I like a chai latte, but that has a lot of sugar in it. So I try not to drink that very often. But I want something hot in the morning. So recently I tried this, and I've been loving this. I have been making hot chocolate with my Premier Protein shake here. And it's just powder. So I use 1 scoop of this in water. I heat up my water first and add in 1 scoop. Some mornings, if I know it's going to be really busy, I've done 2 scoops, but then I do double the water. So I do like 1 scoop for 8 ounces just because it is thick. I heat the water first and stir it in, and I drink that as my hot chocolate in the mornings. And that has been wonderful. It's been a great way to start. 1 glass with 1 scoop is 15 grams of protein. It is, let's see if I read the ingredients. So it has 1 scoop would have 1 gram of fat, 2 grams of carbs, only half a gram of sugar, and 15 grams of protein. So I have been doing this. I had used the vanilla in my overnight oats. I've tried a couple other protein powders that I just didn't really care for the taste of. And this, it's not super sweet like hot chocolate. If you're not used to protein powder, it might be a bit of a learning curve. But if you have a protein powder that you like, maybe give it a try and try heating it up and using it. I've just been trying to do more protein. So this is a great way to get something warm in the mornings that I don't feel guilty about drinking. So that is definitely one of my favorites for this January. One of the other things I am really enjoying, and that's new to me this year, is I'm trying to get back into journaling. I used to journal a lot. Like, I have stacks and boxes of journals from high school and college and when I was single and even when I was married. But once I had kids, that habit just kind of went by the wayside. So at the encouragement of my friend Kaylin, who is giving this a try, I decided to jump in and try this too. I am doing a 5-year journal. I got this one on Etsy, and I'll leave a link to this and all the things that I mentioned below, but I am really enjoying it. It's a decent size. I had tried buying one last year and it was just really tiny. Each day has 4 lines, so it's really short, and I'm just taking time to write a little bit each day, and I'm really enjoying that. In some ways it almost feels too short, but it is definitely helping me be consistent in the fact that I am writing something every day, just a sentence or two. And then the point with a 5-year journal is that from year to year, you come back. And so on that same date, you have everything that happened over the course of 5 years, which I love that idea of just little glimpses here or there, something that happened, any of those things. So I'm really enjoying having that and getting into this habit. And so far, I have not missed a day. Now, I will say every once in a while I forget, I'm too tired at night and I don't do it then. The next morning I might finish up, but because it's really just a sentence or two, it's not hard to do. And so that's a great way for me to get back in journaling. And that is definitely one of my favorite things. So here's hoping I can stick with it because I'm enjoying it. One of the other things I have never shared, but I'm a big reader. And so every month I will definitely have a book or two to share with you of things that I have read and that I am really enjoying. But one of the things I have been doing for a number of years, I've actually been doing it since 2012, wow, is that I have a reading journal. And in this book, I keep track of all the books that I read in a year, as well as the read alouds I do with the kids. So I love being able to look back. Now, these are really neat journals. I will, again, see if they still sell them. It actually, so mine is an Anne of Green Gables journal. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but I'll try. Every line of the journal is actually a line of the book. I don't know if you can see it, but it's really cool to know that this is all of Anne of Green Gables in there. But it's really simple. I just go through and I make a list of all the books that I've read. If it's a book club or book or an audio book, I note that. And then if it's a really good book that I really enjoyed, one of my favorites, I've started putting a star there, just kind of little notes to help me remember. So in 2024, I read 52 books, which was great. And the kids and I read in 2024, where's that list? How many did we read a dozen books together. So we did very well. So even though I mentioned this at my favorites right before year, I'm going to say it again because we just finished this before Christmas. Read alouds for kids, The Wingfeather Saga. I just finished this with the kids and I sobbed through the ending. Like, it was one of those, I'm reading it aloud to them. I'm reading it for the first time with them. And the ending, it got me. The first book, like, you have to kind of get into it. It's a little bit of fantasy. The closest thing I can compare it to is Narnia, but there's some made up words and animals and languages, but it's these 3 siblings. It's really well done. There is definitely some Christian allusions and allegories in there that you can talk about. Just a really fascinating series, very well written. Highly recommend. It is by Andrew Peterson. We got this hardcover set for like $30, so it's a great investment, and I would definitely recommend it to your family or grandkids if you're doing read alouds. It's a great series. But for me, one of my favorite books that I read this month, and I do a lot of reading on my Kindle from the library through Libby app or Hoopla app, and I love both of those. But I read this series. I've started this series by Jody Hedlund, and I've read several by her. I actually read the second book in the series before the first just because it was available. This is the Matchmaker series. Shanahan Match, I think is the title, Calling on the Matchmaker, and I've done the second one. They're set in St. Louis around like 1800s in there. Just very well written. I've enjoyed her style. She is Christian. She's Christian romance fiction. That is kind of my go-to genre, that and history, World War II. I have a go-to. Those would be my genres that I read in. But if you're just looking for a nice, enjoyable read, this series, Calling the Matchmaker, was the first one. And I really enjoy him. I'm looking forward to book 3 coming out. So Calling the Matchmaker, I forget what the second one was. Let's see if it says it back here in the back. I forget because, yeah, it came out after. Anyway, it's good. I would definitely recommend them. And I actually read quite a bit by her and I really enjoy her. So Jody Headland, if you're looking for a new author, but definitely Calling the Matchmaker there. My next favorite thing is kind of a habit that I have changed for this month. I used to always save up laundry and do kind of 2 or 3 days a week. I do a couple loads of laundry, but I've started in this new year doing more of a load a day. At nighttime, I'll get things all loaded. I'll start it as soon as I come down in the morning. I'm throwing it into the dryer before we leave for school so that when I come home after preschool drop off, the load is already done in the dryer. And sometimes I fold it right away, I put it on my bed and fold it in the afternoon. But doing a load a day has just helped me, with 6 people in our family, stay on top of things more. There's no right or wrong way to do it. My friend Emily has a YouTube channel. She has so many great homemaking tips. I'll leave that link below. And she's been big on encouraging that for a long time. And whatever works for you, I really believe that. In different seasons, doing it once or twice a week helped me a lot. But right now, in this season, this has just helped me. As well as my other favorite thing was a Christmas gift, because it's saving me on laundry now. I got to take you upstairs and let me show you what my favorite thing is. We're upstairs in the kids' bathroom, and for Christmas, my parents got us, or had someone from church, a friend, embroider bath towels for all the kids with their names. And I absolutely love this. Lily's is hanging up backwards there. But then we have Emma's here. I love having these bath towels because now we know who everyone's towel is, and I don't have to wash them every night because they're not getting mixed up. I had talked about that for a long time, but special thanks to my mom who made it happen, and to Kathy from church who had an embroidery machine and put the kids' names on the towels. It was a great Christmas present and I am loving it. Even though it was really for the kids, they all got their towels, which they are super excited about. I love having them too, and it just has made our life so much easier. I had thought about separate colors for everyone, but I like that they're all just the same color and simple, and they have their names on it, and it works great. So that is definitely one of my favorite things this month. And I'll wrap it up with one more favorite thing this month. It has been keeping my grocery budget low. I went back and forth on the doing a pantry challenge. As you guys know, I went back and forth. Some of you were like, yes, let's do it. And you were super excited. But I also love shopping the sales. And that's really what this channel has developed into, is the grocery shopping sales every week. And so I love scoping out all those deals and building our pantry on that budget. However, it has been great to keep my budget this low. We are more than halfway through the month, and I've spent less than $30 on our grocery budget, which feels amazing. Like, I knew I could keep it low, but I didn't think it would be this low. We'll see if I stock up on sales as the month ends up here. We'll see how we wrap up the month. But it's just been really good to kind of really focus on eating what is in our freezer. I'm not so much worried about the canned goods and the non-perishables there, but just to focus on those things that do need to be rotated through. I have a freezer full of meat, which is one of the ways I am able to keep our budget as low as I can, but I need to be rotating through it. And I do, but this is really forcing me to intentionally use up some of those things that have been in there a while. So I really am enjoying that, and it's been great to have that source of savings. What am I going to do with that savings? I don't know. Stay tuned. We'll figure that out, and I'll talk about that in the pantry challenge wrap up, what we're going to do. But here we are. It is almost the end of January. I can't believe it. It is flying by so quickly. It's been a good month. It's been a busy month. And those are some of my favorites this month. So I'd love to know, what are some of your favorites this month? Do you have something new that you discovered that you're really enjoying? A habit, a book, a new food, a recommendation, anything at all? Go ahead and leave it in the comments. Let me know. Chime in with your favorites. And if there's something you want to see more of, or you want me to talk about next month in this video, leave that in the comments as well. I will leave links again to everything that I've mentioned there. And if you enjoy this style of video, be sure you go ahead and sign up for my newsletter. I email every week. Every Friday I send out a newsletter, and it's just a different way that I'm able to connect, and some of my thoughts from the week, some links, some recipe links, some frugal encouragement, some behind the scenes peeks. If you like this personal style chatting video, you will definitely love my newsletter. So I will leave that link below so you can join me there too. Thanks so much for joining me. And if you want to check out some of my favorites from last year, you can check out that video next.